Hello, and if you just joined, I'm Fayon Dixon. It is fantastic to be part of this discussion that's about to happen. It's great to hear what goes on in massive organisations. So it's now time for the Rail Consortium Employer Engagement Session. Hello, Chanel, how are you?
Hi there. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Really, really good. Tom, good to see you.
Hi, Fayon. Hi.
And of course, hello, Binti, how are you doing?
Hello, good, thank you. How are you?
Really good, thank you so much. Excited to be here and find out more about what you guys do. So let's start off with Tom. How did you get into your field?
So my job's the Environmental Partnership Manager here at LNER, London North Eastern Railway. I actually I did a degree in geography, a BSc in geography, and then went on to study a master's in environmental science and management. Finishing that, I actually went travelling for a few years, but coming back, my first job was in health, safety, environment. I found a lot of jobs in environmental management linked to health and safety. So that was kind of my foot into the career that opened up the doors, I guess. Once I managed to get that foot in the door, I was then able to kind of focus on specific environmental qualifications. So I became a practitioner in the Institute of Environmental Management and Assessment, and then progressed through different environmental roles. So I started off at a food factory doing health, safety and environment, and then went on to sustainability. So looking at ethics, supply chains, how our suppliers and how green they are from an environmental and a corporate social responsibility perspective. And then I joined London North Eastern Railway 2.5 years ago in the environment team, and I've just been putting those skills I've developed over the last 4 or 5 years into practice.
Fantastic, thank you so much. And Chantal, can you tell us about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm actually a year in industry student at Network Rail, and I work in the level crossings team. But just in case you don't know what a year in industry student is, it just means that at university, a course is typically 3 years, but in between the second and third year, some courses allow you to take a year to work with a company in the industry that you're studying. So I study engineering at university, and the year kind of allows you to get the hands-on approach and a real-world experience, and it's really great. So I was very fortunate to get a place at Network Rail. So like I said, I'm in the level crossings team, and this team just works towards creating safer level crossings with the lowest possible risk. So they're always looking at adding new systems and new technologies to make this happen. And to kind of give you an idea just of one of the things that I've been working on, one of the projects is looking at when the best time is to change the lights at a level crossing from green to red. So as a pedestrian, similar to as if you're crossing a road, waiting a long time to cross can make you impatient. And if you wait too long, people decide to cross even when it may not be safe to do so. So I'm currently working on creating a design tool which should help to decide when the best time is for the lights at a level crossing to turn from green to red when a train is approaching.
Chanel, that's amazing.
So really exciting work is going on, yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely incredible, because we've all been there, waiting, and it's one of those times, but safety is the factor always.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And Binti, can you tell us also about what you do?
Yep, so I'm a project management apprentice, so for HS2. So that basically means I assist at the moment as an apprentice with other project managers, making sure that things are done on time, to schedule, to the budget. So I've worked in all different kinds of teams to assist project managers basically. At the moment I'm working in enabling works, which is basically all of the works that needs to be done before construction can happen. So before the track gets laid down, I have to ensure the trees are cleared, animals are moved out of their habitats into safer new homes, so that kind of thing at the moment, which is really exciting.
That's really wicked, I gotta say that. I never knew that would be part of your job, sort of moving animals and creatures around. That's incredible. Are you scared of any of them?
No, we've got great crested newts and toads, and it's not too bad.
And Chanel, can I ask you, what does a typical day or week look like for you, I should say?
So day to day is a bit different. So if I look at it more of a week perspective, so in a week there's a couple of team meetings that I have every week. So these are just really like sort of casual, informal chats with my team that I'm in, and we just catch up with everyone, make sure everyone knows what they're doing. If you have any questions, if you need any support, that's a great time to get that. I also have a couple of one-to-one sessions within the week as well. So with these sessions, it'll be me and a supervisor who I'm working on a project with. And in these sessions, it's a great chance for me to kind of ask any questions that I may have, show my progress on the projects, and for my supervisor to also ask me questions to get me thinking, which is great. Also within the week, so in the start of the day, I'll always like log on, check my emails, catch up on everything that I may have missed. And also in the rail industry, which is something that I never really knew, there are a lot of webinars happening all throughout the year. So if there's ever any spare time that I have, there's always something going on that I can watch, which is great. And then also in my free time is where I spend, which is where I do all my project work that I need to do. So I have plenty of time, and yeah, it's just great.
It just sounds like you are on it. You just love what you do so much. When you said like, my spare time, I think you say a bit surfing, knitting. No, you're working on those projects. Good for you. Can I ask Tom, on a daily basis, what is the role of an environmental professional in rail?
It's quite varied. So from generally in my working week on a daily basis, a key focus is data analysis. So we use a lot of data in environmental management to help track performance. And without having good data, you can't tell the business how we're doing. And if you don't know how you're doing, you don't know if you're getting better or worse. And most responsible businesses, or all responsible businesses, are aiming to reduce their environmental impacts. So data, from my perspective, to looking at utilities, so gas, water, electrical consumption, waste management, and reviewing how much we're using and looking to set plans to try and to improve those. We spend a lot of time reporting that internally, so not just to the board members and the exec teams, but to our frontline teams and our station teams, because it's ultimately our colleagues at the station who have the ability, or on board a train, the ability to make an improvement and to help us reduce our environmental impact. There's a team of, let's say, 3,000 colleagues, and there's only a few in our team. So the more we can communicate and engage with colleagues. So we often write a lot of training documentation. So that could be information on, how do you recycle, what do you recycle at work, and try and pass that out to our colleagues. In addition to that, we look at a lot of environmental compliance and auditing. So there's a lot of regulation from the Environmental Protection Act to very specific ones around waste and energy and heat networks. And we look at, are we complying with what the regulations say? And if not, what do we need to do to kind of improve that? And then we engage with different stakeholders. With the environment, a little bit like safety, it's not any individual's single responsibility. It's a team effort, and we all have a role to play. So a big part of our job is making sure that as a business, we're all working towards driving a green agenda.
I hear this a lot, communication, teamwork. They're at the top of your skills. Yes, get your qualifications, but it's so important to be able to communicate, isn't it? So can I ask now, Bintu, do you have what is your favourite train? I want to know. And so does our friend here.
I'm not sure, actually. I really want to visit the bullet train in Japan. That'd be amazing. So I'd like to do that. But yeah, I don't have one, to be honest.
Okay. We'll think about it. But the bullet train, that sounds like a goal for both of us. And Chanel, how did you find out and apply for the placement at Network Rail? Yeah,
so I was always interested in doing a placement year anyway. But so there's this website which is called Grad Cracker, and I think it's the most useful website to find out about all these placements and even like job opportunities. So on the website is where I really found out about this opportunity. I just have to say, when you're applying for placements or anything, don't limit yourself to one company, even though you're tempted to. Just apply to as many as you can. But Yeah, so I applied through this website. I filled out I sent in my CV, filled out the application, and then I got through to there was this video interview. A bit scary for me. I've never done one before, but I thankfully got through. And then the final stage was when you had to go in for the day, an assessment centre. And there I just had a couple of interviews and a group assessment, I would call it. But yeah, overall it went really well. Everyone was really nice when I met them, and yeah, I was thankful that I got the job. But yeah.
That's great. I'm really pleased for you. And Tom, there's a question here, and I have this question also. Why are trains not more colourful? And is there a reason for that?
Well, that's a good question. If you look at the Azumers have got a nice, I guess, dark red stripe along the side. So our trains are fairly colourful. And I know northern ones are a nice blue. So if you're looking at the exterior, I think there's a fair bit of colour. I know our interiors are nice and red. So I guess it depends what train the person asked the question is referring to. I know even on the underground, there's some nice colourful seats on the underground trains.
In my mind, I think I just want a rainbow wash of colours. You see this thing coming, it's like a palette. But thank you for your question. I was thinking the same thing. And Bintu, why did you choose an apprenticeship at HS2?
So after A levels, I did another job in admin, and there just wasn't really any room for career growth. And I've been talked about apprenticeships before in school. Knew that you could earn and learn at the same time, which was something that always interested me. So I started to look down the apprenticeship route. And in the back of my mind, going into STEM and engineering roles has been something that's interested me, but I wasn't too sure about actually doing the engineering side. So when I saw that project management was something that could be done, especially on HS2, which is a huge project going on at the moment, I thought I'd give it a go. So yeah, I heard about apprenticeships before, did my research, knew what I was interested in. I'm quite an organised person, and project management requires that. So I thought it would be a good role to me to go into, earn and learn at the same time, which has been great for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's really great news to hear. And Chanel, does your job vary? Is there a little bit of outside work, or is it all in the office?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So because of the pandemic, unfortunately for my year in industry, I've actually been working from home, which at first I was okay with, but obviously after time it's a bit sad, to be honest. I really wish I could have gone to even just to the office to get that work environment and actually meet the team in person. That would have been lovely. But I know that previous students who were in my position have in the past gone out on track and actually gone to see things and see the level crossings and things. But unfortunately for me, I've not had the opportunity, again, because of the pandemic. But there's definitely a lot of opportunity at Network Rail to actually go out and see things in person.
Yeah, I hope that comes round soon, because that is lovely to have that variation, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And for Tom, what projects are you currently working on to increase the sustainability of rail?
So turning rail green from a green COVID recovery, we've been working a lot on waste management the last year or so. So recycling, it sounds really easy. When you look at your bins at home, you might have a green bin, a brown bin, a black bin, a blue bin, whatever colour bin you have for different materials. But actually, because our route covers from King's Cross all the way to Edinburgh, Aberdeen and Inverness, we cover lots of local authorities, which makes it really hard for customers to know what to recycle and what can be placed in the bin. So last year we placed new signage across our stations to try and standardise what can be placed in bins. We're also looking at engaging, I mentioned before about engaging colleagues, so we're doing that with our cleaners, and looking at sorting hubs. So we struggle on board trains because there's not a lot of space, and as a train operating company, or a TOC as we're referred to, we don't own the trains that we operate. And so making a change, and often these trains take a long time to develop, we don't have that space to do any recycling on board. So if we can offload our waste and do a bit of manual sorting and improve segregation, we can kind of help reduce our environmental impact. But a real key project, it's been a little bit slow to roll out, has been around coffee cup recycling. So you're probably aware that Costa, Starbucks and all those big companies, they've all got their own coffee cup collection schemes. and about 2.5 billion cups are thrown away each year pre-COVID. So here at LNER, we're looking at trying to capture those and send them for recycling, because when they make their way into the normal recycling, they are actually classed as a contaminant, which prevents us from recycling as much as we'd like to. So we're actually working with the DFT and some of the other train companies to agree, well, we've agreed a stand now, but roll out coffee cup recycling across our route. And an innovation project we're looking at, and hopefully it'll be going into Newcastle Station in the coming weeks, maybe a month or so, is a Moss-powered air filter. So that's an innovation project that the business has been working on for the last year, working with a German company who have designed a special tree. It's not a tree in the sense of it looks like a tree, it's just a wooden box that's really nicely designed, but within inside it, it houses special mosses that, as air passes through, extract any dust or any fine dust from the atmosphere. So we're going to trial a bit of an air cleaner. And then the final project really is all around engagement, so developing e-learning to help our colleagues really understand more about the environment. And the more we can raise awareness, the more chance we have of people making the right decision, which will ultimately help prevent more significant impacts to the environment.
That is just so exciting. All three of those that you spoke about are just, you know, you think maybe you do that over 5 years or something, but you'll probably be doing it like this month, the next month, and then bam, you're on to the next thing. Keeps you on your toes, doesn't it? Keeps
us very, very busy. Every day is a busy day. And there's always, especially as an environmentalist, it's my passion. So that, you know, the reason I did geography and environmental science is because I want to make a positive impact. So there's all these ideas, and actually everybody who's joined the call and listening in, you've probably got your own ideas about what, you know, whether it's a train, it could be in your local town or city, you know, how you could reduce the environmental impact. And that's the same with me. And when you get into a role like this, it's a balance, because obviously a business is here to serve its customers and make money. But at the same time, we need to be responsible. And it's great that LNER have myself and my boss to try and push that agenda. Brilliant stuff, brilliant. And Chanel, can you tell us, how do you update level crossings to make them safer? That question goes to Chanel.
Yeah. So, well, with level crossings, there are so many different types of level crossings, and there's a lot of, like, with each level, different type of level crossings, there are different risks. I can't even think of the different types of
It's a tough one because, like you say, everyone is different. You know, if you're in Purley, Purley looks a certain way and traffic moves in a certain way, and it's green here, but it's like crossing there, or, you know, pedestrians are here. So there's not one definitive answer then. You have to do it individually.
Yeah. So there is this... I can't remember the name, but there is this like model, and it kind of tells you, like, depending on the type of level crossing it is, it tells you like the risk. So
She's getting some support. Don't worry, it was like one of those questions. Sometimes you can't answer all the questions, but you know what? We could come back to it at another time maybe. Keep your eye on our website, and maybe that answer might pop up for you at some time. But thank you for giving us a little bit of an insight. But yeah, it depends on the risk and depends on the level crossing. So can I ask Binti, what are the 3 top skills you need for your job?
So organisation and planning is probably the main one. You need to know the timeline of the activities that need to take place, make sure you're on top of the schedule. There's all sorts of projects going on at the same time, especially at HS2. So I'm not working on one project at one time, so definitely being organised across those would be the first skill. Another one being communication is a massive one. I have to communicate with not just internal people in HS2, but also our contractors. So, you know, having that communication virtually, face to face, is really a big one. And then teamwork kind of feeds into that as well. I work with so many different people, so many different like personality traits and everything. So it's really versatile to being able to, speak to different team members, communicate effectively, definitely another skill. And then I think the third one would probably be, let me have a think. Well, I write a lot of documents and everything like that. So kind of being able to adapt to who you're writing to, whether that be sometimes looking at different like method statements or writing a plan on a page for, you know, just a different project. So that kind of skill comes into it. So English is one of my favourite subjects, which is why I'm probably talking about that more than anything else. But yeah, that'd be my like top 3 skills.
Brilliant stuff. I hope that answered your question. So Tom, what are the main ways in which the rail industry can be more green?
So I've talked about recycling, and that's a very visible perspective that our customers see, you know, and yourselves when you're traveling on trains. But actually, I guess the key thing with sustainability and environmental impact, it's all about the energy we use. So moving a train from King's Cross to Edinburgh or Aberdeen or Inverness takes a lot of energy. So over the last few years, the last couple of years, we've just rolled out new Azuma trains, which are hybrids, which now enable LNER to, rather than run a train in diesel from King's Cross to Edinburgh to Aberdeen, we can now run in electric mode, which utilises the overhead electrical wires that are on the East Coast Main Line. And the real benefit of that, up to Edinburgh, because after Edinburgh there's no electrical wires at the moment, the real benefit of that is that we go away from burning diesel to using the national grid. The national grid is decarbonising, and what we mean by decarbonising is, you know, over years, each year the government is and other stakeholders, so energy companies are bringing on more renewable energy. So renewable energy could be solar, wind, or it could even be low carbon energy such as biomass. And as these greener sources come online, it means that the electrical supply in our plug sockets is essentially becoming greener. There's less carbon emitted, so that's a real big benefit. But we have to think about what happens north of Edinburgh. And this is where advancements in technology and new people leaving university and different institutions and college can help bring new ideas and innovation. So at the moment, there's no electrical wires past Edinburgh, which means our trains, once they pass Edinburgh, switch to diesel mode, which burns diesel. So there's discussions around biofuels and in other countries, hydrogen's used for trains, and it might not necessarily work for us, but it might work elsewhere. There's also opportunities to discontinuously electrify the routes. That would mean electrifying maybe a kilometre and then having a little gap where the train kind of runs through on its batteries. So there's a whole host of things from a decarbonisation perspective. And the final sort of, well, not the final thing, but another opportunity is looking at our stations. So while trains are the biggest environmental impact from an energy perspective, our stations, it's really visible. So you can see when the lights are on, you can see the computer displays, you can see all the equipment, all the tenants. The tenants are all the different outlets that might provide you a coffee or a burger. Well, can we provide them with renewable energy? And that's something that here at LNER, we're looking to do. And same at home, your parents might have a green energy tariff. So while you're still using energy which is coming from the national grid, if you're supporting a renewable supply company, that's helping provide further investment into the national grid to kind of develop these green supplies.
Brilliant stuff. It's just great that you continue to keep working on it. That's all we want. And Chanel, what advice would you give to your younger self for the career that you're in?
So I think 100% with anything that like anyone does, me, anyone, is just do something that you enjoy. Because, for example, with your career, it's going to be for the next 40, 50 years or so, or however long. And it should be something that you look forward to, and it's something that makes you happy. And I just feel like also when you're passionate about something, you are just generally more motivated to do better and to put in more effort into your work, into whatever. And then I just feel like from that, better results come from it. So just follow like your heart, follow, what you enjoy. And I think good things will happen from there.
That's sterling advice. It really is. And I totally believe in that. And Tom, did you like trains before you got into this job?
Oh.
You can say no.
I really like sort of technology and engineering perspectives. Although I'm in the environmental field, I've always been interested in tunnelling, and obviously a lot of tunnelling is related to railways. So that's always interested me. I guess the building of the Eurotunnel, I've watched several documentaries on that. So I guess there's a bit of a yes for the railway. But the main thing for me is it's the job. It's the thing I really enjoy is working in environmental management and helping reduce a company's impacts.
Thank you so much. I can't believe how fast the time has gone. We've got time for just one more question, and I'm going to ask it to Bintu. Bintu, what did you study at school, and how have these subjects and qualifications helped you to get you where you are now?
So I did my GCSEs, where I did actually pick quite creative subjects, so that was different to kind of what role I'm in now. But A levels, though, I did history, photography and English literature. So I did do subjects that didn't really lend themselves to kind of STEM. So I didn't do maths and science, which I did in GCSE. I didn't do that at A level or anything like that. But I did get good grades in them, which led me to the potential of getting an apprenticeship, because there's different levels of apprenticeships, and depending on the grades that you get, you can kind of, do what level fits that. So I did do well in maths, English and science, and I think they're kind of your core subjects that you really need to make sure you kind of got under your belt for any kind of role. So although my subjects didn't lend themselves to what I'm doing now, what I am doing now is very transitional, and I'm really enjoying kind of the construction side of things, and because I am doing this apprenticeship and I'm getting the project management qualification, I can go into different STEM organisations and companies as well. So I've lent myself to broaden my career opportunities.
Absolutely right. I say this to young people all the time. Just find a love of everything, even the subjects that you struggle with and hate. Just do your best to find a little bit something there that you can hang on to. Do the best you can, because it gives you lots and lots of options. Chanel, Tom and Bintu, it's been an absolute pleasure hearing all of your experiences and your advice and top tips. All the best for the future. Thank you so much. Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much, and I will look forward to seeing you again very soon.